everyone, welcome to another Procreate tutorial. This is the drawing that we will be completing in today's video. If you are new here, I mainly post Procreate tutorials, so if that is something you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe. Otherwise, before we get started, the only thing that you will need to do is download the color palette. I have it linked in the description below. It's totally free to download. Just open up the file that downloads and it'll automatically pop into Procreate so that you can use the same colors as you follow along with the video today. So take a second to go and grab that and then come back and we'll get started. First things first, we will go over our canvas dimensions. They are 10 inches by 10 inches at 300 dpi. The color profile that I'm using is the second one on the RGB list. And for our layers today, we need about 15 layers available, so you can check how many you have available here. If you need more layers, you can always lower your DPI here to get more. And this is our color palette. And we are first going to start by laying out the little bag or package that they're going to be in, and then we'll draw them inside of it. We will also add the background later, so let's just go ahead and get started. We'll be on layer 1. So we will grab the first color on the last row. We will use our monoline brush under the calligraphy tab. We'll have that set to about 50%. And the first thing that we are going to draw is going to be the front of the package. So there's going to be 3 parts. There's going to be the front, a little sleeve behind it, and then the very back. So you'll see it when we have it all laid out. I'm just going to draw an oval shape that's pretty round but a little bit more vertical. Try to make it line up so it's pretty nice and straight up and down, and then go ahead and fill that in. From here, I'm going to take my eraser tool, which I also have set to the monoline brush at 100%, and starting on the left side here, a little bit further down from the middle point, I am just going to draw a curved eraser line that curves up and to the right like this. Then I'm going to grab my selection tool, set it to automatic, and grab this first little section here, the top one. I'm going to slide right on the selection threshold quite a bit just to make sure I really get all of it. Click the arrow tool and I'm just going to drag it off the screen to get rid of it. So then I'm going to zoom in and I do see a little wispy little area here on the outline that didn't get selected, so I'm just going to go through and erase that really quick. But that gives us a nice little shape for our starting point. So on the same layer, same color, same brush, I am now going to, starting at the bottom here, a little bit to the left of center, I'm going to draw a straight line going down and to the left. Hold that down until it snaps into a perfectly straight line. Starting there now a little right from center, do the same thing going down and to the right. Trying to stop them at about the same point here. Then starting at the bottom here, I'm going to draw a little curved line connecting each side to each other. Click edit shape if you need to get them to line up a little bit better, and adjust the curve to be pretty even left to right. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. So that is the start of our little package shape here. So that is all on one layer. I'm just going to use my arrow tool and then move it a little bit more to the center of the screen. Next, we're going to add a new layer. Drag it below this layer that we started with. Same color, same brush, and I'm going to draw a little part of a sleeve here that's going to be behind this original layer. So starting on the left side of this top part here, starting in just a little bit and then below our original layer here, I'm going to draw a curved line going up and around like this. Hold it down until it turns perfectly curved. Going to edit it just a little to make it a little smoother, like this. Click our pen tool again, and then starting at that point, I'm going to draw another line curved and going down and in like this, connecting underneath our original shape here. And then I'm going to just draw an invisible line behind my first layer here to connect these two lines together, and then fill that in so that that is its own shape on its own layer here below our first one. Next, I will add another new layer, drag it below this layer so it's on the bottom of both of our layers. Now we are going to switch our color to this third color on the bottom row, but same brush and everything, and now we're going to draw the back of our package here, the inside of it that we'll see. So I'm going to start from this point here on the left side, and I'm going to try a curved line up and to the right. Hold that down until it turns into a perfect curve. Starting at that point, I'm going to draw another line down and to the right, connecting to our shape over here. I'm going to go ahead and click Edit Shape, and then drag these better to connect at the top and on the side over here, like so. Then I'm going to grab my pen again and connect these invisibly behind our original shape here and then fill it in. On this same layer, our darker color here, we are going to do the same thing on the bottom, make a little background layer. So starting from the left side of the bottom here, we are going to draw another curved line, this time going down and then connecting it from each side. Click Edit Shape again at the top and just kind of adjust the curve to be nice and smooth from left to right. Then I'm going to click the pen tool again and again kind of invisibly connect each side and fill it in. So now we have this background shape here on the bottom as well. So now you should have something that looks like this. From here, we're going to add some texture and highlights and stuff to all of our little paper shapes. So let's go ahead, and we're already on this back one. Let's just go ahead and start there, this darker one. So on the layer menu, click on this layer, turn on alpha lock, grab the fourth color on the bottom row, and we are going to switch our brush to the grunge brush under the textures category. Set that to maybe 40 to 50%, and I'm just going to drag this all over the background here to create some texture and add some shadows. Go ahead and do the same thing for this bottom one here as well. Next, we will go to this next layer here, this really small little section. Click on this layer on the layer menu, turn on alpha lock, and grab this third color on the bottom row first. Same brush, same size, and I'm going to drag this color mainly right here close to where these two are overlapping to create a nice shadow there, and maybe up the left side a little bit as well, like that. Then I'm going to grab this second color on the last row, and I'm just going to lightly sprinkle this in on the top kind of right section here to add some more texture there as well, and then a little bit of a highlight. Then we are going to go to our main original layer here that we created, this big one. Click on it on the layer menu, turn on alpha lock. We already have this highlight color, so let's just go with that. Same brush, same size and everything. And we'll just add this mostly around the little lip of the shape here. Maybe a little bit down this right side. And then we'll go down to the bottom here and add it kind of in the middle and towards the ends, like this. Just kind of all along the bottom there. Then let's go back to our colors and grab the third color on the last row, this darker one that we'll use, and we'll use that as a shadow, mostly in the middle here, and then just kind of all over to add some texture as well in any of the spots that we missed before, but definitely focus it in this middle part where the two shapes meet to add a shadow there. And we will even grab this fourth color on the last row and add in just a little bit of that as well to really deepen it up right there. Okay, so that is our little paper outline to create the package that our tulips will be sitting in. So now on the layer menu, we have this layer selected. I will select the other two. So they're all three selected. Click the arrow tool, and we are going to rotate and just kind of reposition this so that it's in a better spot. We want it to be at an angle. We can resize it if we need to a little bit. I want plenty of room on the bottom here for the stems to be poking out, and then room on the top area here for our greenery and our flowers to kind of poke out if they need to as well. So go ahead and get it positioned where you would like it. Then we will add a new layer, and this is the layer that we are going to draw our tulip on. So what I'm going to do here, so you'll see on the color palette we have pink colors. So we are going to use all of these pink colors to make our tulip, and then we're going to copy it and turn it purple. This purple color here is for the background that we'll use later. So that being said, let's grab this first pink color on the top row. We are again on this new layer, and we are going to use our monoline brush under the calligraphy tab to get started. So we have that about 50%. And just up here somewhere, because we can move them later, I am just going to draw an oval shape again, hold it down until it turns into a perfect oval, and again, kind of have it try to be pretty upright. Have it be pretty upright. I'm going to kind of adjust it here. I just want it to be about this size. And again, mostly roundish, but a little bit more up and down than left to right. And then I'm going to fill it in. Then I'm going to grab the eraser tool, also on the monoline brush, set that to maybe 30 to 40%. And we're going to make the tulip shape now. So it's going to mostly stay the oval, but this top little part is what we're going to alter a little bit. So starting a little bit to the left of this center point at the top, I am going to draw a curved line going in and down like this. Hold it down until it turns into a nice curved line. From here, I am going to go up and to the right in another curved line and hold that down as well. Then I'm going to grab the selection tool again, automatic, touch this top little part to select it. Again, I'm going to drag the threshold up so it hopefully selects all of it. Click the arrow tool and drag that off the screen. Again, it left like a little teeny ghost of an outline, so I'm just going to go through real quick and erase that little bit there. Next, we are going to stay with our same color, same brush, and we are going to start inside this top part on the left here a little bit and make a curved line going up and around. Want it to be a little shallower than that, something about like that, and again, it'll connect on this other side here, a little bit inside of the lip over there as well. And then fill that in. So now this is our new shape. So it started out as an oval, now it looks like this. Now we're going to make a new layer on top of this layer. We are going to grab the fourth color on the top row, this darkest pink color, and we are going to switch our brush to the dry ink brush under the inking category. Set it to maybe 10%. So this is what we're going to use for some details throughout it, like on the tulips and on the leaves of the stems and stuff. So we'll use our grunge brush again to add some more texture to it. But first I want to kind of set out the lines of the tulips so that we know where to create our shadows and highlights. And we are going to start inside this little top left little lip that we created, and we're going to kind of follow that original eraser line that we made. So we're going to just go ahead and draw a line like this, going inside our main tulip body quite a bit like that. And then again, starting on this right one now a little bit inside, we're going to kind of do the same thing. A little curved line to meet this other one in the middle. So I just wanted to lay those down first. They will stay there with our final tulip piece, but I wanted to create them first so that we know where to add our shadows and highlights on our main tulip shape. So let's go back to our layer menu and go back to this original pink tulip layer. Click on it, turn on alpha lock, and then we will grab this second color on the first row and we will switch back to our grunge brush under the textures category. I'll probably drop the size to maybe 20% for this part. And I am just going to follow this curve of this petal here that we created before, and just kind of all over there, maybe in the top right corner and side on this side as well, and the top little section of our back part. Then I'm going to grab this third color on the top row and kind of do the same thing with a shadow, focusing it mostly on the bottom left here. And I might drop the size a little bit further to like 15% to really get in here and add a shadow where these overlap. And then again in this little back part too, where the two overlap with it. So this is our main tulip shape. And when you have it where you like it, we are going to go to the layer menu and drag these two layers together, the outline and the shadows and the main part, onto one layer. Now we are going to take the arrow tool, rotate this tulip a little, and place it within our paper bag here. So I'm probably going to have it just, and now that we have that drawn in a position that we like it, I am actually going to move this layer below our two front little package layers here, but still above our back darkest package layer here. Even though they're not affected by these layers right now, when we add the leaves and stems to them later, they will be, and we will want them to be positioned here. So I moved it here for now. But the next step is to make more tulips, so we will make a duplicate of this pink tulip. We'll click flip horizontal so that the petals are facing different directions, and then we'll adjust the angle, maybe move it over here into this little corner area here. And I'm going to just do 2 pink tulips and 2 purple tulips. So these are my 2 pink tulips. So now I will make a duplicate of this one that we just created. And with this layer, this new layer selected, I'll just move it and reposition it maybe up top here like this. I didn't flip it this time. We're just gonna leave it the same as this one. That's totally fine. But now we will change it to purple. And to do so, we will just click this wand icon, click this first option, hue, saturation, brightness. And on this first little hue slider here, I'm going to slide it to the left just a little bit, maybe to 43%, just to change it to a nice purpley color. Then we will go to our layer menu and make a duplicate of this purple one that we just made. And let's go ahead and flip this one horizontally as well, so it's a little bit different, and we will move it down here, and maybe it'll be a little overlapping these other 2 pink ones, or, you know, tucked below this wrapper. That's totally fine. However yours end up fitting together, you can overlap them more if you would like, just kind of arrange them however you would like. And now we have our 4 tulips. This is just the amount that I decided to do. I think it looks nice because we will be adding in some more greenery and other things to really fill out the picture, and I felt like more than 4 would probably be a little too much, but if you want to do more, you can. If you need to make them all a little bit smaller in order to fit more and you want to try that out, you can do that as well. But now I'm going to move on to add the leaves and stems to them. So let's just go back to our original pink one. This is the one on the right over here. We'll add a new layer above that, and we will grab this first green color on the second row, and we will switch back to our monoline brush under the calligraphy tab. Have that at about, again, 50%, and we will just start drawing these on. So it'll be on the bottom edge of our tulip here. I'm going to start on the left side, a little bit outside of my original tulip shape. Draw a curved line going down and to the right to the other side in about the same spot. Like this. I'm going to start on the left tip here and draw a curved line going down and inside to create a leaf shape there. Fill that in. Do the same thing on the right, starting there and drawing a curved line down and in. If they end up meeting in the middle, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. We're going to add this third leaf shape here in the middle to fill this out. So I am just going to start a little ways up from here, draw a curved line this way to the bottom, a curved line this way to the bottom as well. I'll click edit shape to just kind of make them meet at the top a little bit better, and then fill that in. So now we have all of our leaves here. This is a little bit bigger than I would like it to be, so I'm going to click the arrow tool and just downsize it a little on uniform, and then kind of replace it here where I want it to be, right underneath my tulip, like this. Now I'm going to zoom out, and on this same layer I'm going to draw the stem. So starting towards the middle of my green shape here, I'm going to draw a straight line down, pretty straight, coming out of the bottom of my little packaging here. Hold it down into a perfectly straight line and let it go. And then I'm going to draw another line right next to it, pretty close to it, so that it's kind of skinny. But I'm going to hold that down as well, and then I'm going to stop it short of my other line that I originally drew, so that we can create a nice angle here, like a flower stem would be cut. So I'm going to draw a line, an angled line like that, to connect them there, and then fill in this stem part. So as you can see, it went outside of my packaging a little bit here, but that's okay. I'm just going to use my eraser to erase that little part there. So obviously, you know, a straight stem would go where that is, but it won't make that big of a difference to kind of just get rid of that there. Still looks very natural. So we are going to draw all of these separately because they'll all be at different angles and different lengths to kind of stick out of the bottom of our paper here. So I am going to add some texture to this now. So I'm going to click on my layer menu on this green layer, turn on alpha lock, grab the second color on the second row, and switch back to our grunge brush. Have that set to about 10 to 15%. And I'm just going to focus this on like the tips of the leaves here. And then maybe just a little in the center too, to add some nice texture. And then I'm just going to focus maybe on the right side of this stem all the way down to add some nice texture and highlight there. Very simple, something like that. Now we're going to do the same thing with the other flowers. So let's find our next pink flower, add a new layer above it, go back to our original first green color on the second row, back to our monoline brush, and we're just going to do the same thing. So I'm going to draw a curved line underneath it, draw a leaf shape here, leaf shape here, leaf shape in the middle to connect it. Fill those in. And again, probably downsize it just a little bit. Kind of change the angle to make it line up nicely at the bottom there. Make sure it's all filled in here. I missed a spot there. And I can already tell by the way that this is facing that my stem would go like probably out here, and we don't want that. So I am just going to fudge it though and just draw the stem straight this way, even though it maybe wouldn't exactly do that. It won't look that weird. So I'm going to start at the bottom again, draw a straight line down and this way out of our little paper package, draw another line right next to it. Maybe go down a little further there to create our nice angle here, connect it with a straight line, and fill it in. And again, I will click on this layer, turn on alpha lock, go back to our second color on the second row, and go back to our grunge brush under the textures category, and texturize this one now. Again, down the stem as well. This one didn't end up sticking out of the packaging at all, so I didn't have to do any erasing there. Next, we'll go to our purple one here, add a new layer above it, switch back to our first green color, monoline brush, and this, I believe, is our back one. Yes, okay, so we're right above our back one here, which is good that this back one is below our front one here, because that means the stem layer that we're drawing in between is going to go behind this one, which is what we want. So again though, let's go ahead and make this curved line here. And it's okay if it goes in front of some of your tulips because obviously they're going to overlap a little bit. Like it's fine if this one goes in front of this pink one a little bit. It just means it's in front of it and that's totally okay. But we just don't want a big line cutting off a huge chunk of our like front tulip here. So we do want this layer to be above all the others. And we will go ahead and continue and make our little leaf shapes. Again, they always just end up a little bit too big, but that's okay. We get the shapes the way we like them, and then we'll resize if necessary. Something like that looks good. So now I'll draw my stem, and it'll overlap these other ones, and that is totally fine. And fill that one in. And again, go to our layer menu, turn alpha lock on for this layer, switch to our second color on the second row and back to our grunge brush. Do our highlighting here. It would have been nice if we could have just like copy and pasted, but I think it's also nice that they're all unique and you know, they're different at the bottom, they're different at the top. And then we will add our last stem and leaves. So we'll go to this last purple tulip, add another layer above it, switch back to our first color on the second row, switch back to our monoline brush, and again a curved line. And this is where it's pretty important that we're behind this paper here because obviously our leaves and stuff would not be in front of it. We can't really see where our line ended up there, but we'll just kind of fudge it as we go. So we'll make this leaf, fill it in. Then I'll actually maybe make this center leaf since we can see it. Fill that in, and I don't know, maybe we'll just pretend that another leaf's like right there. It's kind of hard to see where it's at, but we can kind of get the gist of it. And then again, we can't see the bottom of it, but that's okay. We'll just pretend that the bottom's like about right here. And we'll make a stem going out, and we'll maybe make it over here to kind of fill in this space down here. Make another line here, connect it, and fill that in. Okay, and go to our layer menu. On this layer, turn on alpha lock, second color on the second row, and back to our grunge brush to add our little highlights to our leaves here and to our stem. So this is looking really good. The only thing that I will say is that there's just more room up top here and less room down here, so I am going to grab all of my layers, every single one of them, and just kind of move it up and over just a smidge, maybe even just downsize it a little bit to give me more room all around. About like that, so we're nice in the middle and have all this room surrounding it. I don't want to be right on the edge. So I think that looks really good. So now we will continue and add the rest of our greenery and our bow here, and then that'll be it. So this was the main hard part out of the way, in my opinion. So now we will just move on. So I'm going to add most of my greenery behind my tulips. So let's find this very bottom brown paper layer that's behind everything, and we will add it above that, but below all of our tulips. We will grab the third color on the second row, and we will, of course, grab our monoline brush. Same size and everything, and the first thing I'm going to do is just make some stems with some leaves on them all the way down. So these are going to be curved lines instead, so I'm going to start here in this space and make a curved line kind of down and through the bottom. And it'll stay curved and it'll stay coming out the bottom, and this is as thick as it'll be. It won't get any thicker than that. Then maybe I'll make a curved line going this way. It's a little more curved than I would like. I'm just gonna kind of adjust that a little bit. And maybe we'll make a smaller one here. Again, edit it and maybe make it a little less curved. Make the bottom kind of come out here to fill in that space there. something like that. Okay, and we'll leave that. So we'll do the 3 stems. So let's go ahead and start adding our leaves. So I'll start here and we will just make a little leaf shape on this side, kind of just like an oval sticking off the side of the stem. So we'll just kind of make those going all the way down. And then again, these will be behind the paper down here. And we'll do the other side. Same thing. I guess we can skip right here where this one tulip is, but we'll make one like down here. And then we'll do the same thing on this next one. Again, kind of faking it down here where they would be. And then this last one, just trying to keep your size consistent as you go. Obviously, it doesn't have to be perfect. They are leaves. They'll be, you know, naturally a little different. Okay, something like that. And I think I changed my mind and I think I do want one last one over here. So I will make another stem, curved stem, hold that down, have it stick out of the bottom there. And we will add some leaves. Right here where it's like underneath the paper, but then over the other one, I think I will just make that leaf a little smaller to stay within the paper. We don't want that to look weird. It kind of did the same thing over here, but I left it. It's not that crazy, but this one was kind of weird especially, so. And then we will go to this layer on the layer menu, click on it, turn on alpha lock. We will grab this 4th color on the 2nd row, switch to our grunge brush. And again, just kind of maybe like add a little bit of highlights to the tops of the leaves here and there to add some texture. Then we will grab the 5th color on the 2nd row, this darkest green, and we will grab our dry ink brush under the inking category that we used earlier on the tulips, and we will use them on these now. So we will just add a little bit of leaf texture in these leaves like this. Just a little line with some lines coming off of it, not going quite to the edge, just keeping them inside our shapes. I left it the same size that I had it before, about 10%, but you can go ahead and change it if you need to, depending on how hard you push down. I tend to push pretty lightly sometimes, so it works for me, but if you need to lower your size, feel free to do so. Okay, now this is what we are looking like. We will add one more little variation of our little greenery things. So let's go ahead and add another new layer above this one we just did. This one we are actually going to have in front of our tulips, but behind our paper still. So just find this top little stem that you have and drag your layer there or add it there. We will grab this 6th color on the 2nd row, and these are going to be in front of our tulips now. We are just going to draw them. They're going to be pretty short, so they won't go outside like the others did. Just right in front, and they won't go through the bottom either. I'll just draw 3 curved lines kind of like this of varying distances. So we have like a shorter one, a longer one, and a little bit shorter one here. And then we are going to grab the 7th color on the 2nd row, and on the same layer and next to each of these stems towards the top of them, we are just going to kind of dot this color around to create some little sprigs like this. Not going all the way in a circle, but they don't, you know, some of them can go off the stem a little bit, some right on top. So kind of following this little tip of the stem there, but you can have some of them kind of going off. So just kind of randomly dotting away there. Like that. Okay, and I've never made an edit like this in a video, but looking at the grand picture, I don't love these darker stems at the bottom that I have sticking out from these new leaves we drew. So if you also don't like them, what I'm going to do for my picture is find this layer with those leaves on them here. I'm going to use my selection tool, set it to freehand, and just select around this bottom section, click my arrow tool, and drag it off the screen. So I like the way it looks a lot better just with these few ones here. So if you also want to get rid of those, you can either use your eraser tool or do what I did and select them and just drag them off the screen to get rid of them. Otherwise, now we will move on. We are going to add the background now. Go to your layer menu, add a new layer, and drag it to the very bottom of your layers. So right above the background color layer. Grab this 1st color on the 1st row of your color palette, and we're going to switch back to the grunge brush under the textures category that we love so much. This time we're going to set it all the way to 100%, and we are going to just fill in the background with this pink color very lightly for the most part, but saturating all of it. And then I'm just going to kind of focus more on the edges and just other little sections, make some sections a little darker to really give it some good variety. But I'm kind of trying to leave the middle part around my bouquet a little bit more untouched to kind of highlight it, but you know, still fill it in so it has some texture there as well. But something kind of like this. Then I'm going to go and switch to this purple color, the 5th one on the top row, and add that in certain sections as well. Not really all over like we did with the pink, but just in some sections to kind of mix it up a little bit. And then if you need to, I have this white color on the top row, the 6th one, and I have that there to kind of add back in if you need to around the bouquet to kind of highlight it a little better. Don't push too hard. We don't want it to be like super white there, but we just want it to be a little bit lighter than the rest of it just to kind of make it pop. After that's done, now we will add a new layer on top of all of our layers, the very top. We will switch to our 7th color on the 2nd row here, and we will switch to our dry ink brush. And the first thing that I'm going to do is just draw some straight lines around this middle section here. Straight line, another straight line, kind of even like overlapping. They don't have to be perfect, but something like this to kind of show this twine wrapped around the middle. After that, I'm just going to draw kind of a circle in the middle, circular shape, not like holding it down or anything, just kind of filling in a circular shape in the middle there. And then I'm going to kind of tilt my screen a little and zoom in, and we are going to draw, starting from this knot, I'm going to draw a big bow shape like this, and then come back to the middle there. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side here. And then again from the middle on each side, I will have a little squiggly line going out and down like this to finish it off. So kind of like you can see in the middle here, it's a little hard to tell the difference between this and the background color. That's why we don't want it to be too white in the middle. I can still see mine pretty good, but if you want to go back in to your background layer and add a little bit more color, you could. Maybe I will just grab the pink and go back to my grunge brush and just kind of add in just like a teeny little bit to kind of really help you see that. Oh, you can do something like that. Otherwise, that is it for our picture today. So I hope you had fun. If you did, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more tutorials from me in the future. If you would like to share your drawing on Instagram, I would love to see it. So go ahead and post it and then tag me so that I can check it out. While you're there, go ahead and give me a follow so that you can see what I'm working on next. Thanks for watching!